The Steelers beat the Falcons 17-13 at Heinz Field on Sunday, but like most preseason games, the final score isn't particularly relevant. The Steelers won basically because their fifth-stringers and soon-to-be-cut guys were better than the Falcons. If the goal of this game was to put together a JV team, well, then yeah, I guess the Steelers coaches should be celebrating. It never is, though, and that's why Steelers coaches as well as fans should be scared to death by the performance of the first-team defense in this game. The Steelers' defense was atrocious. Not bad, atrocious. The Falcons did whatever they wanted against it. The Steelers' defense was so bad that Falcons starting quarterback Matt Ryan was given the rest of the day off after one series. He needed only one, though, to shred the Steelers while leading a 10-play, 91-yard touchdown drive. Ryan gave way to backup Matt Schaub after the first drive. Schaub played only a few snaps, and that apparently was enough to prove to Falcons coach Dan Quinn that the Steelers' defense was no match for him, either. That's when third-string quarterback Matt Sims and Atlanta's second-team offensive line took over. Sims then led the Falcons right down the field to a score as well. Sims had Marvin Hall wide open in the middle of the end zone on 3rd and 5 from the goal, but Hall dropped the perfect pass. It would have been the easiest touchdown Hall had ever caught, but he dropped it and the Falcons had to settle for a field goal. The Falcons' third offensive drive against the Steelers' defense was more of the same. Atlanta drove down the field as if it was a 7-on-7 drill. The Steelers did make a stand on 3rd and goal on the third drive to force a field goal, but that was little consolation as the damage was done. All told, the Steelers were shredded for 244 yards on 37 plays in the first 3 drives with the varsity players in the game. They were 5 of 7 on 3rd down in those drives, and one of those stops was Hall's drop. The first half of the game was defined by our inability to execute on possession downs. Tomlin said, "We did not convert any 3rd downs and they converted quite a few, or just about most of theirs." Tomlin pointed to a couple of plays where the defense had a chance to make a play on 3rd down, but missed tackles that enabled the Falcons to extend drives. He said that's unacceptable, something that needs to get corrected sooner rather than later. Asked why he left the first-team defense in for so long into the game, Tomlin said, "They left themselves in the game." Tomlin didn't single anyone out, but this game tape Ross Cockrell, Robert Golden, Sean Davis and William Gay should want destroyed. All 3 of them got beat for big plays, including a 44-yard pass to Reggie Davis over Cockrell that set up the Falcons' second field goal. The first-team defense was without Bud Dupree, Ryan Shazier and Mike Mitchell, but defensive end Cam Hayward said that's not an acceptable excuse. He said the Steelers rotate a lot of players into the lineup and will have injuries to starters throughout the season. Whoever is out there has to be willing to step up their game. Hayward said, "There was plenty of times last year when I was hurt and someone else had to step up. You have to deal with the cards you're dealt and just be ready for the moment." Hayward echoed Tomlin's sentiments that the inability to get stops on 3rd down led to a long day for the defense. He said the Falcons were able to get into the Steelers' red zone too easily, and that's something that needs to be corrected. If we want to get to where we want to, we cannot have this kind of tape out there. Hayward said, "That was a nice way of saying they can't play as poorly as they did Sunday. I concur, but would go one step further if Artie Burns, Cockrell and Gay don't play much better than they did Sunday. This is going to be another season that ends with a frustrating loss somewhere short of the Super Bowl."